It's now 4:30 on WKYT this morning. It is Super Tuesday. It means voters will decide which presidential candidates get hundreds of delegates that are up for grabs.
One Franklin County mother's upset after she says vulgar posts were put on social media about her daughter. She's now asking for help from the school.
And Lexington firefighter Matt Logsdon is home in Louisville this morning after his first round of cancer treatment.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Hey, good morning. Welcome in. It's good to have you with us on the first day of March. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. It is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day, and for the latest on that, let's go now to Micah Harris.
Yeah, most of this, what you're going to be looking at, strong thunderstorms as they roll through. However, some embedded severe cells will be possible as this travels on through later on this afternoon. We have plenty of time. We have about, I would say, 8 to about 10 hours before we actually see some of this travel on through our region. So out there right now, it's actually really nice. It's a little bit chilly in some spots, no doubt about it. We're at 42 now in Lexington, 34 in Frankfort. It all depends on where you have the clearing of the skies. Clearing of the skies down in southern zones, London to Somerset, where we're sitting there in the 30s. And as we finish off the day, strong to potentially severe thunderstorms. Now I'm going to explain what you can expect out of this and when, coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you. Let's get to the news this morning.
Well, today's Super Tuesday, the biggest day of the year so far in the presidential race.
Voters in about a dozen states are holding primaries or caucuses today, and plenty of delegates are up for grabs. Many of those voters in both parties fear today's results could mean some big changes in the race ahead. Mary Maloney explains.
At Donald Trump's event, the celebrity candidate was upstaged, interrupted when a Secret Service agent grabbed the neck of a photographer and slammed him to the ground. Inside the Republican Party, a different kind of fight brewing, with some refusing to support Trump, even if he does win the nomination.
I'm not going to vote for Hillary Clinton, and given what we know about Donald Trump, I can't vote for that guy either. Those are the two major party nominees, and I certainly hope that they're not. I'd have to look for a third-party option.
The Republican rift on full display.
What he's trying to carry out is a scam to take control of the office of the presidency of the United States.
If Donald Trump is the nominee, Hillary in all likelihood wins.
Hillary Clinton focusing her efforts on Republicans instead of rival Bernie Sanders.
At some point, you can't just say whatever pops into your head if you want to be the president of the United States of America.
Sanders not giving up hope, even though some of his supporters fear a poor Super Tuesday showing will make an irreparable dent in his campaign.
We can win the Democratic nomination. And if that happens, there is nothing more that I would love to do than run against Donald Trump.
I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
On the Super Tuesday, voters will be choosing nearly half of the required number of delegates needed for the Republican nomination and more than a third of the delegates needed for the Democratic nomination. Republican candidate Ben Carson is already looking ahead to Kentucky's Republican caucus, which is Saturday. Yesterday, he hosted a town hall meeting in Lexington. While polls show him far behind, Carson says he has momentum heading into this week's contests, and he asked voters not to give up on him.
Get out there, but do it in a responsible way. Make sure you know what you're talking about.
3 other Republican candidates are planning stops in Kentucky this week. Donald Trump will hold a rally at the Kentucky International Convention Center in Louisville today. Marco Rubio will attend a campaign event in Lexington Friday morning. The venue for that has not been announced yet. And Ted Cruz plans to visit the state. He has not exactly announced when and where yet.
A state lawmaker has filed a bill that would keep the state's health insurance exchange and the expanded Medicaid program. Representative Darrell Owens, a Democrat from Louisville, said losing Connect and the Medicaid expansion will hurt thousands of Kentuckians. Governor Matt Bevin says Connect will be dismantled by the end of the year because he says it costs too much money for the state. Well, the state Senate has passed a bill that would require doctors to give a woman an ultrasound and describe to her what they see before performing an abortion. The bill would allow women to look away from the ultrasound images. The bill now heads to the House. Earlier this legislative session, Kentucky lawmakers approved a bill that updates the state's informed consent law. Governor Bevin signed it into law.
Naturally occurring radioactive waste illegally dumped at an Estill County landfill is continuing to cause concern in that community. Over the weekend, the county brought in a third-party contractor to test air and the water around the landfill, as well as the nearby schools and homes. The judge executive says preliminary results showed everything is normal. The county is holding a public forum tonight so that people can ask questions. That begins at 6 p.m. at Estill County High School. A Franklin County mother tells us that she is upset over online posts that someone made about her 12-year-old daughter. Many of the posts are vulgar, and some of the girls' classmates say they are victims too.
As Monique Blair reports, her mother is asking the school to do something about it.
Online bullying, it's ugly and it's prevalent, and now one mother says she is afraid it has gone too far in Franklin County.
One little girl put on Facebook that they're starting to get to her, and to me, that's a sign.
After Sandy Eastman found out her 12-year-old daughter was being bullied by someone on the social media app called Instagram, Eastman has taken screenshots of dozens of accounts that have been created and used to bully kids at Elkhorn Middle School. The people behind the accounts use derogatory words and sexual language so obscene we can't show you on TV.
They're using words it's hard to digest.
Now, although the Franklin County School District spokesperson says they do not tolerate any form of bullying, he says when it comes to instances of bullying where the source is anonymous, that's when it becomes a little bit more difficult to stop.
We would suggest is that they notify the authorities. By authorities, I mean law enforcement. Secondly, they might notify school authorities and then provide whatever information they can to help us determine who's responsible for it.
Eastman says she spoke with the school's resource officer, but aside from reporting the account to Instagram itself, there wasn't much he could do. I spoke off camera with 4 other Elkhorn Middle School students, each who showed me different Instagram accounts where they had been the victim of bullying. Eastman says she just wants this to stop before it goes any further.
Pinpoint who's doing it, because I would press charges if I find out.
In Franklin County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Well, the school district says cyberbullying carries a very serious punishment both at school and in court.
Now 4:37 on WKYT this morning, we have an update to bring you about when a stretch of Interstate 75 in Tennessee shut down because of a rock slide could reopen. Rocks fell into the northbound lanes about 20 miles south of the Kentucky state line on Friday. No one was injured. Officer Don flew over the rock slide in Sky First to take a closer look. And the Tennessee Department of Transportation announced last night that the southbound lanes should reopen within 2 weeks and the northbound lanes within 3 weeks. But work to stabilize the hill and repair the interstate totally could continue until mid-April. Southbound tractor trailers now have to exit I-75 at Corbin and take the Cumberland Gap Tunnel into Tennessee.
In Rowan County, a road was closed for hours after a crash involving a tractor trailer hauling logs. State police say yesterday the truck went off Cranston Road near Moorhead and down an embankment. The logs ended up being tossed back onto the road. Police say the driver was airlifted to UK Hospital, his condition not known. In the last 2 days, 3 Central Kentucky gas stations have been robbed at gunpoint. Now police think the crimes could be connected. This surveillance video shows the robbery at the Double Quick gas station on US 27 in Nicholasville yesterday. Police say 3 masked men walked in, pulled out guns on the clerks and a customer. This comes after a Speedway in Richmond was robbed Sunday morning, followed by a robbery at a Circle K in Lexington 2 hours later.
They've had a couple of robberies over the weekend that have a similar method and a similar description. So we're hoping that maybe they've got a little more information that we can share with each other.
So far, police haven't made any arrests in the 3 robberies.
A Lexington firefighter is at home this morning after his first round in treatment for cancer.
Matt Logsden lives in Louisville. Friends there organized a fundraiser last night to help him and his family. WKYT's Garrett Weimer was there as Logsden dropped by to say thanks.
If you didn't know firefighting was a fraternity, walking inside O'Shea's on Monday would be all the proof you need. Just ask Matt Logsden.
It just shows me that, being a fireman, the brotherhood just goes beyond the truck. It's not just something you do, it's not just your job, it's something that you are, and it means something to people.
That support didn't just come from his friends.
We all back each other up, and that's what we do, and it is a brotherhood, it's a family, and it doesn't matter what firefighter you are, from California to Maine, we're all one part of the family.
Brothers he didn't even know, brothers who don't know him, also came to help.
This guy, this guy, this guy, this girl, that guy, everybody around you here that you see, we're all here for the brotherhood, man. There's a lot of guys here that are from fire departments that probably never met Matt Loxton. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we're here to take care of the brother. We're here to take care of his family. No matter what happens, we got his back.
O'Shea's is donating half of the money they raised Monday to help Logsdon and his family. And despite all he's going through, Logsdon says it's hard to have a bad day when so many people are supporting him.
Sometimes your whole world comes crashing down, and you feel like it. But when you're in the situation I'm in, you know, being a fireman, you don't do this stuff by yourself, and that's a very comforting thought.
In Louisville, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Well, Double H Barbecue on Versailles Road in Lexington is donating 10% of the proceeds today to Matt Logsdon. They're taking donations as well. That's between 10 and 3.
Good to see him so uplifted by that support. Time this morning is 4:41 on WKYT, and we're just getting started with the latest morning news.
So we know kids love playing video games. Now we also know that letting them play those games could potentially have some positive impacts. We'll have a closer look in today's Mom's Everyday Minute.
In less than 12 hours, we're going to be seeing some thunderstorms. That's going to change the look of Defender Radar Network. I'm going to track that and show you when you can expect it coming up. Here's the look across town, and we're going to be seeing those thunderstorms roll through later on this afternoon, and it looks to be anywhere from noontime to about 6 p.m. That is your best bet to see these storms start off in the west and finish off in the east. And yes, we will have the opportunity to get some severe cells embedded within this. So we'll see that in towards your afternoon, especially if we get a lot of sunshine during the morning hours. That's something to watch out for. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s. We're at 32 degrees now in Somerset. And then you go just north of that into Danville at 41 degrees across Boyle County as you're traveling 127. Back toward the east, 43 in Jackson, waking up this morning in Laurel County at 38 degrees, in Madison coming in at 48. So we have some clouds out and about here and there, and that's what's making us a little bit warmer in some areas. So let's go through it. By noontime, a few storms well back toward the west across I-65 going from Bowling Green to E-Town all the way to Louisville. Then it tracks eastbound. So I would say the first storm's in our region anywhere from noontime to about 2 p.m. Then around here in Lexington anywhere from, I would say, 1 p.m. to about 4 p.m. And then sliding eastbound should track out of here by around 6 to 7 p.m. That's why you see at 8 p.m. no thunderstorm icon, just some rain. So we'll still have some rain on the backside, but those storms should be long gone by that time. Go off into the night, look at 11 p.m. We go from 50 degrees to 32 in just about 3 hours. I mean, it's going to be a big hit of some colder air. That will give us some flakes to go overnight and into tomorrow morning. Any accumulation expected out of this? Absolutely not, okay? So no accumulation expected, just a few flakes flying. Strong winds, this is a low impact severe weather threat. However, like we always say, it only takes one to roll over your house to make it that severe weather day that you'll remember. So just keep in mind, low impact, still that isolated threat is going to be out there. Strong winds, yeah, it's probably the main player that we're going to be seeing in this forecast. Tornadic activity still relatively low, but we still cannot rule that out. And flooding, not a major concern, but it's still there too because these grounds are still saturated. So any heavy rainfall is not going to help us out whatsoever. So you can see it's a low end event, but it's still there. So that's why we have that first alert severe weather day for you as we track throughout your day. So we're going through the day, 65 degrees. We get off toward tomorrow, 37, and a few flakes here and there. Friday, a bit of a mixture. It's mainly rain, but a little snow can be mixed in. Then we head toward the weekend. Much better conditions, guys, as we track towards your weekend. So all in all, it's about the afternoon time. Evening time should be good once we get past 6, 7 p.m. in the far east. Around here, it'll be long gone by 4 p.m. So it's going to get in here pretty early and then move on out before all of us head to bed.
It's really a situation.
Yeah, it's up and down, up and down. We're in that time of year.
Well,
that's exactly right.
Up next week. I saw
yes,
that.
Yes, it
right?
is. 70 degrees at the end of the forecast.
Okay,
yeah.
we'll enjoy that. Thank you, Mike. It's 4:47 now. Kids love to play video games. It seems like they're always on their phone or in front of a TV playing those games, right?
Yeah, sometimes it seems a little bad, but apparently it's not all bad. It doesn't really hurt to still play outside, of course. But letting those kids play video games in moderation, they say, can help them learn. We'll take a closer look in today's Mom's Everyday Minute.
It's hard as a parent to manage all the technology that your kids have access to. But when it comes to video games, there is some research that can help you determine how long your child should play video games each day.
Games themselves, if played in moderation, less than an hour a day, actually have found in some limited studies to actually improve problem solving, even improve or address creativity, improve psychosocial adjustment.
Once kids start playing for 3 or more hours per day, it can cause impairment when it comes to socializing and being able to function appropriately within the family. Here are some reminders for parents when it comes to video games. First, police the content in the games. Make sure it's age appropriate for your child by reading the ratings and by actually viewing the games, especially those online. Set limits on the length of time that your child can play the games, and never allow the games to be housed in your child's room. Also, actively discuss the games with your child. Becoming actively involved in the games that your kids are playing will help you to monitor your child's activity, and it will help you to have conversations with your child.
For these tips and more, go to WKYT.com, click on Moms Every Day.
And right there you find all the latest news and, of course, weather as well. And this is a first alert severe weather day. As Micah was telling us, we'll be watching for potentially some rough storms later today. 4:49 right now.
An American student detained in North Korea made his first media appearance since authorities announced his arrest in January. He's apologizing. That story coming up.
Kentucky mornings start here. You're watching WKYT This Morning.
Welcome back in. Great to have you on WKYT This Morning, Tuesday, the 1st of March.
Yeah.
It may roar in like a lion a little bit later on, it sounds like.
It sounds like it.
An American student detained in North Korea has made his first media appearance since authorities announced his arrest in January.
Well, this is the first time anyone has seen Otto Warmbier since January 22nd. He made a tearful apology and begged for forgiveness from the country detaining him. North Korean authorities claim the University of Virginia undergraduate, I should say, had been detained for hostile acts against the country under the manipulation of the United States.
The family of the late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia will hold a memorial in his honor tomorrow. It will be held at the Mayflower Hotel in Washington, D.C. Scalia died on February 13th in Texas. Multiple Supreme Court justices are expected to give remarks at the memorial service.
Well, after years of planning and construction, the new 21C Museum Hotel in downtown Lexington's open.
Right, and yesterday the ribbon was cut. The hotel hosted a big open house. It's in the former Fayette National Bank building at the corner of Main and Upper. The hotel has 88 rooms, each with unique artwork from Lexington area artists. This is the second 21C hotel in Kentucky. The other is in Louisville. Lots of folks attended that, a big ribbon cutting and so forth yesterday. Coming up next, a look at some of the stories WKYT's news team is working on for you this morning.
We'll also have another look at your morning forecast.
Well, good morning. Welcome back in to WKYT This Morning here on your Tuesday. It's 4:57.
And it is time right now to take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
It is Super Tuesday across America, a big day in politics. We'll take a look at why Kentucky is more relevant in this year's election process. That is coming up at the top of the hour. And it is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day.
Yeah, we're going to ask Micah what we can expect in today's forecast.
And it looks like we're going to expect these strong storms to roll on through. This is a potent system, but it's not an outbreak type of situation. However, we're going to be watching it very closely, already knocking on the heels of the state of Kentucky. So expect this to be right around noontime entering the I-65 corridor. Not 75, but 65. And then it approaches us and rolls eastbound. I'm going to show you the timing. I'm going to break it down hour by hour and show you what you can expect out of this. Coming up with another 2 hours. WKYT News. We'll see you back here in just a couple of minutes.